Follow along with this video if you want to learn how to fix a sourdough starter that's been left for approximately 2 weeks without any help or love. And if you're finding this on Instagram, sweet, but check out our YouTube, which we have kind of been launching throughout this last week. And there'll be more long form content to come that has baking tips, more behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Just a little bit more in depth, get to know us more than just what our Instagram account has. So thanks a lot. All right, now we're opening up the cooler to find out what happened. So I loosely covered this right before leaving. And let's take a look at what we got to work with here. All right, so there's some pooling on the sides, a little bit of dried flake. Perfect. So that looks pretty ugly, right? We just throw that out and start over? Wrong. I'll show you how to fix it. We got a fresh container, so we're gonna take this old, dried out, beat up starter. We're gonna weigh it all out and get going. So we'll let you watch. So about 285 grams of starter. And what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna feed that we'll call it a 2-to-1 ratio just to try to get things started. So we probably had some water loss, so we're gonna call it 300. So we're gonna feed this sucker 600 grams of flour and 600 grams of water. Call it 900 grams. Basic math, just a little hole. All right, there we go, we're up to 900 grams. And I did use the old container because I wanted to kind of get as much of that sourdough kind of twang as I could out of it. All right, now I'm gonna pull out our organic flour. So here's our all right, a few hours have gone by. Let's take a look. Got a few bubbles that have formed right there. Starting to smell nice. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up again. This time, it's not so much to mix it as it is to aerate it just a little bit. Just kind of relaxing out. You can watch it do that, all right. And we'll check on this again in a few more hours. Yay, sourdough starter now has bubbles. It's alive. All right, so it's not the most active sourdough starter in the world, but it has recovered, and we're gonna go ahead and just start baking with it, because what we're gonna do there is have a little bit longer ferment time, and what that'll do is it'll give it enough time to sour during the bulk rise. So there we go. Again, that's what we got. You can see bubbles. I already stirred it again to let some more oxygen. We got bubbles forming already again on the top. So that's a great sign. And now we're gonna resurrect it into some fully done sourdough loaves. All right, so it's been 24 hours since we started our little sourdough experiment of fixing the starter. Here's our progress. This was the secondary feed to the first feed. I went straight into some bread just to see how it would turn out. Secondary feed, you can see we're super active, more than peaked, so we're looking good. So thanks for following along, and see you soon. So we put that sourdough starter to work, and right now we have about just underway on the bulk prep for these, but there's starting to be bubbles forming around them already, so I'm pretty happy with this. And again, that was basically a sourdough starter that was completely inactive for whatever that was, almost 2 weeks. I think it was 12 days, and we brought it back within 24 hours. So just goes to show you, you don't need to throw your sourdough starter out, even if it looks gross and dried out, as long as you treat it right and hydrate it and make sure it gets fed nice and pretty like. This is what you end up with, some nice good bread. Thanks for watching and learning how to resurrect a sourdough starter. If you have any other questions, do whatever you're supposed to do. Like, subscribe, comment, and we can go over those in the future. All right, so thanks again, and see you next time.